Love and greetings and welcome to you. And if you're here for the very first time to our channel where we talk about marriage from a very real perspective, then a very special welcome to you. The topic which we're going to get to is, why does my husband question everything I say? And before we go there, I want to just share a little bit about the Marriage Foundation. I'm the founder, I'm Paul Friedman, and I founded it at the behest of a fellow divorce mediator, because that's what I used to be. That was back in 2009, but I really came up with these principles for marriage and this approach to marriage back in 2001 when clients of mine asked me to help them save their marriage rather than help them dissolve it. And I thought I would take a shot at it. And so I spoke with my couples counseling and my therapist friends and said, how do you think I should do this? And they said, well, just listen to what they have to say, see if you could help them settle arguments. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like that is enough, even with this topic. So what if I can help you sort of fix things between you in this regard, where you're thinking that your husband questions everything that you say. And I'm a communications expert, so certainly I would have some tips for both of you. But I started to think that's very surfacey. And I asked the question, why do people get married in the first place? And I didn't ask that question right away. It took me a little while to actually think that that was the right question to ask, because that would then help me guide people towards what they wanted. Why we get married is what we want from our marriage. So if we want happiness, which I discovered is the main number one reason why we get married and why we live, and love, those are sort of the pole stars now for everything that we do at the Marriage Foundation, from these videos, articles that I've written, books that I've written, and the affordable courses that we have. Everything is about happiness and love. And although we don't think of it in those terms, those are spiritual. Happiness and love are spiritual. You see, they're not material. Yeah, we have a little bit of happiness when we get something new or have something exciting happen in our lives, but it's fleeting, doesn't last. But that deep happiness, think about it as the happiness that you experienced when you first met your soulmate husband. How you felt in your heart, not in your mind, in your heart. How, wow, this is pretty amazing. And then you thought, wow, I really love him. And you wanted to marry him. You wanted to spend your whole life with him, didn't you? And so that's why you got married. And now you're doing it. And now, down the road, you're going, why does he question everything that I say? Now, I could use another term. Why is he bossy? I could use another term. Why doesn't he take care of things? More terms like that. They come up universally. And the reason why they do is because we're not taught about marriage growing up. Were you? We're not. You know it's ironic. You know, first thing you think about Hollywood and the actors and the movie stars, and I've worked with actors and I've worked with directors and producers, and the first thing that would come to your mind is they are not examples of how to be married. And yet, where do we learn how to be married? Well, we watch the examples of married life on sitcoms, in the movies, and it's not real. A lot of it is just fantasy. A lot of it is based in Western psychological thinking. In other words, love and happiness are very spiritual, Western psychology is very cerebral, it's very mental. It's very, compared to love and happiness, everything in our psychology is very mental. It doesn't come close. Because I discovered the mind cannot understand love. And then I thought, why? Why not? Because the mind is a machine, it's a tool, it's a computer that we, as souls, very spiritual, have at our disposal. We get to utilize our minds, but we're not taught that, and so we are controlled by our mind. We are controlled by our habits, our inclinations, our instincts, and so we know we have free will. Everyone says it's so, but we don't use it. We use it to choose between red or blue instead of choosing to be in love. And so with this question of why does my husband question everything I say, I'm not going to question you saying that. I believe it. And there's two reasons. One has to do with him and one has to do with you. The one that has to do with him is that he's not feeling that love and happiness in his marriage, because we experience our marriages from different points of view. They're not opposite each other because we're supposed to be blending our lives and our hearts, but we do see things differently. In fact, I've defined marriage as an individual spiritual path that two soulmates take together. Isn't that beautiful? That came to me, and I think it's right on. By the way, I hope you've subscribed. If not, you can do it now. Subscribe to the channel so you get plenty of these. And so what's happening is, from his individual point of view, and he doesn't know why, he's not fulfilled in his marriage, And so he's resentful about that, subconsciously. This is where psychology comes into play, but a very different way of looking at it. So he's subconsciously resentful. That is only one manifestation of resentment, is to question somebody, to challenge them. It's kind of another way. Other men cheat on their wives. They are resentful and they cheat on their wives, not because necessarily they're missing something, but to get back at their wives. It's really true. It's very deep. And it's not their fault. Okay, it is, but it's, in our society, in our world, it's almost acceptable. It's not right. We know that it's morally wrong, but it's become almost acceptable for affairs, multiple partners. It's crazy, isn't it? When all we really need to do is learn about the marriage that we have and then seek those things that we got married for. Happiness and love. So what do you do? What should you do? So I told you from his point of view. From your point of view, you're feeling attacked. Resentment creates an attack. You are the recipient of that attack, and you're feeling, hey, why is he questioning everything I say? And then your mind takes over and it goes, oh, he doesn't trust me. It's not that. It's not that. Because trust, believe it or not, is not part of the magical equation of marriage. Love and happiness, proper communication, learning how to love unconditionally, those are parts of the equation for a happy marriage. But that's not it. It's not about trust. It's about his resentment is causing him to attack you. And what's happening is your mind is in place rather than your heart. And so rather than hearing him and feeling what is the deep problem that I expressed before, that he's not feeling fulfilled, your mind is going, this is not fair. And your mind is saying, take it personally. You don't have to. You don't have to take it personally. You could hear him. You could listen to what he has to say. You could wait until it passes, because his questioning is a reactive sort of thing. And then you go about loving your husband. You see, we don't get anywhere in marriage saving and marriage help by working on these individual problems. We have to approach our marriages as a whole. Think of it as a living plant. You know, you might have that your leaves are turning yellow. Well, you don't just cut off those yellow leaves. You go, what's wrong? What are we not doing correctly? Is it too much sun? Is it too much water? Is it too little this? And we consider the life of the plant, knowing that if we deal with that, then these individual problems will just disappear. And so that's what it is. And so I use these topics like this, not to get into the topic itself, although I did very directly and very succinctly, but more importantly, at the Marriage Foundation, our thing is for you to experience the incomparable happiness, the incomparable love in your marriage. Marriage is intended to be filled with joy, filled with love. We're not taught that. Now you are. No more excuses. So I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope you like this video. If you are a therapist or clergy and you like our approach, and go to our website so you can discover the approach, the full science, you might say, that I've discovered. Because marriage is scientific. Maybe you'll want to be trained as a TMF marriage counselor. I trained many in 2011. Now it's time to do it en masse as we're growing. And, you know, we have over 50,000 subscribers at this point. And we need more TMF certified marriage counselors. So maybe you would be interested in applying, taking that course, enrolling. But at any rate, we're very happy that you stopped by. I very much appreciate you. And again, I'm Paul Friedman. Thank you for coming by. Like the video, leave a comment if you wish. God bless you, and take care.